I'll tell you that name, but we're not going to talk about John. We're going to talk about his daughter, because she is the one who invented the first Bernini metal hose. And metal is actually the perfect material for a garden hose, because rubber and plastic are broken down by the UV radiation of the sun. I would have thought a metal hose would be hotter. It's actually substantially cooler because it reflects heat. They're also almost indestructible. I want to point out, a Bernini hose is the finest quality of metal hose in the industry. We've got a 50-footer at a clearance sale price of $43 and change. In this industry, by the way, anytime you can get a good, really good quality metal hose for under $1 a foot, you won, okay? I want to introduce you to Ginger Walt. How you doing, Ginger?
Hi, having fun over here. I couldn't do this with another hose, I can tell you that much. Yeah, it's too heavy.
You know, the term kink-free hose is such a lie. Big rubber hoses can weigh 3 times as much. This weighs in at just over 5 pounds.
That's it.
For 50 feet in length. And it is just as flexible can be.
Yeah, it is.
It comes with a billet aluminum nozzle, billet meaning that it was carved from one solid piece of aluminum. And this length right here is the game changer. That is the weak spot on every single metal hose that has ever been constructed. People pull the hose too hard and it snaps at this point.
Right.
By putting this on a spring and then covering it with rubber, that just took its weakest point and made it its strongest.
And that's one of the things that you want. And this is one of the hoses that we say that will probably be one of your last hoses that you will ever own.
Agreed.
It's lightweight, so it's easy to maneuver and move around in your garden, and it shouldn't have to be a chore, which is one of the great things about it. So here we have a comparison of something that you maybe have seen in your garden or have experienced through your lifetime, right? Of rusting. One of those garden hoses that will absolutely rust versus this one, which is made of the highest grade stainless steel that won't break down, and it's UV resistant, which is one of the things that you want to have in your garden. Or one of these that, you know, maybe some of you haven't broken down and thrown this away.
If you kink a rubber hose or a plastic hose once, that bend will always stay in it.
Right.
This is 304 stainless steel, and it's actually the ingredients added into the steel that make it better quality.
That's right.
There's a lot of inferior stainless out there, but I've known the Bernini's company, and I've known John and his daughter for years. This is truly exceptional. I've got right now 3 colors. We've already sold out of 2. I've got blue, red, and I've got green.
Right.
And you buy it once and you've got a hose that's easier to live with, easier to work with, and lasts longer.
And that's what you want. And you know, some of the things that you're looking for in a hose right now, that if you've had a house and or even if you just bought a house and you're buying a hose and doing your landscaping for the first time, you want that flexible power coupling that is actually attached to the hose, which makes an easy turn coupling, which is great, and it's rubber handle grip, which makes it great too. All aluminum nozzle, which is included, which will spray from the lightest little spray to going up to your second floor.
Well, let's do this, Jen. Let's do everything we can to try to kink it. By the way, I'm double checking. I know the silver is sold out. Silver is gone, but I do believe that we have a few left in the black. Okay, I don't have it out here for display. It's going to be the same hose, but black for the couplers.
Oh, we have the black. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here what we've done is we put in 60 knots, over 60 knots, just to kind of show you that you can't kink this hose. It will not, you know, kink. It won't stop the spraying, which is one of those going around a house or getting it stuck. And I'm just to prove you, I have water running through this.
Right.
It's not leaking anywhere, which I love. It's still getting the water pressure that you need. And it's going with that wonderful hose nozzle from a nice mister spray to getting up to that second floor and spraying your delicate flowers in the middle of it as well. And one of the other demos that we like to do is just to kind of prove to you, we have a couple of what we call like this tower of terror. I don't know.
A regular rubber hose, if you go around the corner of your house,
that's it,
and you pull, you wind up cutting the water off. We actually created the fence post of death.
Look at that.
It's got barbed wire, it's got screws sticking out of it, it's even got razor blades, but you can't break this hose.
Nope. It's virtually indestructible, which is one of those things that we want to show you, because all of us have little things that we're doing in the garden, and some of you also like to leave them out in your garden and never take them in. This is one of those that it doesn't matter. It's puncture resistant. And you can even try this at home. It's one of those that you don't have to be gentle with it. Look at that.
Yeah, the nails actually pop up a little bit.
And the nails actually pop
this
up.
This past weekend, Ginger, I did 6 hours of power washing.
Oh, I love it. I love power washing.
You know, it's gratifying, but my back was screaming. But for me to run from where the spigot is, and most houses have a spigot, if you're really lucky, one on the front, one on the back. I don't have one in the back.
Yeah.
The only spigot I've got is right on the front patio, which means I've got to run about 150 feet of hose. You've been to my house.
Yeah.
To get to my deck.
You got to go all the way around everywhere.
This weighs in, 50 feet of hose weighs in at 5.8 pounds. So you're carrying a whole lot less weight. We've got a hose reel, and we can actually easily put 150 feet of hose on here with no concerns whatsoever.
And it's not hard for me to turn because it's not weighing so much, which is one of the great things that I love. It can store nicely, which is great too. And this is one of those hoses that I would gift to somebody. I would give one of these to my parents because it's easy for them to do the watering around. It's actually enjoyable. And how long does it take you to go ahead and wind up 100 feet? I mean, 200 feet, a couple of seconds. It doesn't, and it's not heavy for me to wind it, which is one of the great things.
Right now, we only have the 50-footer in stock. We did have 75 feet, and they sold out quickly. By the way, this little bucket is also available, and that's a great way of storing 50 to 75 feet of hose without any concerns whatsoever.
And it actually has a little hole that's right there, too, that you can kind of put that in.
Because it makes me nuts, being the picky guy that I am, that a regular hose, you cannot coil it up.
No, you can't.
Perfectly round.
And make it really nice. And then you got to go and twist with it.
Not with this. You can. Yes, you can. Yep.
Yeah, not with this. This is great. And you know, like, boy, oh boy, we've gone through your lifetime of hoses from our generation.
Hoses are expensive.
And they're very expensive, and you usually have to get one every year because something happens to it. You run it over, it gets punctured, it rips off from the attachment to the house, or it breaks down from the elements. And this is UV resistant, it's puncture resistant. You can go around corners, you don't have to worry about it breaking or I mean, what would you do that to a rubber hose? No, you wouldn't do that to a rubber hose. And it's not going to break down with the elements either. UV resistant, I love that.
I grew up with a dad who always said, get the best tools you can afford.
Right.
And a garden hose is a tool.
Yes.
You can't wash the car without it. You can't water the plants without it. You can't power wash without it. So it's something that you rely upon over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, a metal hose will actually give you better performance, ease of use than any other type of hose.
Yeah, it will.
There's a flexibility.
Look at that.
With a garden hose that's made out of metal that you don't get with rubber or plastic.
Completely. It's kind of fun to kind of do that because it's, you see how flexible that it is, but also lightweight. And I love that it actually gives you all of the attachments that you're getting with it.
Yeah,
it makes
everything else, by the way,
so nice.
A regular sprinkler fits on it.
Right.
You can use a pressure washer with it. My pressure washer at home is 3,100 PSI.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty
and that's
powerful
one of the
machine, no worries.
I actually wanted to add too with that, Dan, you kind of made a good point. Oh, I see that.
I kind of made a good point.
You made a good point with that. You always make good points. You always make good points.
Write this day down. Go
ahead.
Write
this day down. Ding! Make it like that.
What were you going to say,
But it actually, it's a standard attachment, so it will fit onto any sprinklers, any other hose nozzles that you have, or any other at 5/8 of an inch. So at any other attachments that you have, you don't have to worry. It's a standard size for you to be able to fit. This is actually one of my. This is like taking out my aggressions with this, and that one too.
If you were to do this with a rubber garden hose, you would either puncture it
completely,
or it would at least get caught up. And trying to drag a garden hose like through a rose bush or over simple terrain is difficult to do. These metal hoses don't catch on things.
Right.
You can't puncture them. You can't cut them. It's a better garden hose in my opinion.
Lightweight, love it.
Yeah. Here's the color choices.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Here's the black that we didn't have out here on display before, but we do have it. The black is available. We've got, what color is next to it?
So we
blue or
have the green, the black, the
green?
one you held, and the blue,
Yep.
and then the red that's right there. So that's
Perfect.
good. Sorry, I didn't have that black one. I thought
That's
we
all
had
right.
maybe sold out of that.
No, not yet, but
Okay, good.
they are now clearance sale price. You want to take advantage of that and give you a great opportunity on Easy Pay as well. Coming up a little bit later on from Compass Home, we've got the set of 2